Hello everybody. Okay, how are we looking? Good? Alright. Yeah, so I just felt compelled to do another Lee Davis Draws video for anybody who might be interested. And this is kind of fun. I'm sorry I'm angling down like this because the thing is I positioned the camera so, like, you know, you can still see me while I'm drawing, because I know that's what you're probably here for, even though you tell everybody you want to see how I draw these amazing world famous comics. But I know you, but anyway, you know, it's alright. Anyway, yeah, so like when I get back into my laid back drawing position, you can still get a gander of you know, most of as much of me as possible. So but for now, because I'm addressing you directly, I have to lean forward at this funny angle. Excuse me. I gotta drink my coffee too, excuse me. So I was compelled to do this. I know you didn't ask, but the what's going on now is I got this old rickety laptop that's on its way out. It's just as slow as molasses in the wintertime. And so I'm coloring using Adobe Photoshop. Now these pages were created on Manga Studio, which is, from what I understand, is Clip Studio Paint or something like that. Because I couldn't find, I got this new laptop I'm going to move over to pretty soon, and I could not find Manga Studio. I didn't know if I could install my old software, which is on a DVD-ROM. And I was a little worried. I said I got to get this on the new computer. I use Manga Studio. Where is Manga Studio? I said it's like extinct. I said, how does a brilliant software like that go extinct? And what I think the same company does, Clip Studio. I've talked about this in a previous video, so if you're one of those true fans that has heard this, then sorry to repeat myself. But I'm working on Overripe issue 2 right now, and I finished all the black and white parts. Now this is a color comic, so I'm coloring, and I'm going to be doing a lot of coloring. I'm down to about let's see, I'm working on page 11. I'm going to have after this I got 10 more to go. So I did pay, anyway, God, all this extraneous information. I got to finish coloring these pages on Photoshop on this old rickety computer with my Huon tablet. And now the really exciting thing, besides me talking way too much, and I just opened Skype even though I wasn't trying to. I'm trying to make sure. God, this is frustrating. See, this slow computer, I accidentally tapped one program, then I got to wait 5 minutes for it to start so I can click it to try to close the window, and then that takes another like 20 minutes to close. Not that bad. It's bad though. It's frustrating. I really got to get off this slow, dying computer. Sorry, I'm so frustrated. I was reaching over just to see how long I've talked. I was opening up the screen capture software, and of course I hit the Skype icon, so now I gotta wait for Skype to pop up. Alright, so how long have I been talking? Almost 4 minutes. That's a little too much anyway. The thing is, I didn't think I was gonna do a video, but I got this zazz going through me right now. I was coloring and I said, you know, I'm actually doing some pretty cool tricks because I'm doing some abstract sequences in this interdimensional traveling scene page. I said I should share a little bit of this because it's an opportunity for me to get kind of creative and play around with some neat little tricks I've learned on my own. I'm not that professional Adobe Photoshop or Manga Studio guy. But just some neat little things, and you might be interested to see or to know about. So welcome aboard for that. And yeah, but I thought I just wanted to whiz through this color, but I'm just having too much fun. I got a little too into it. I really wanted to share some of it. I'm really looking forward to finishing these pages. When I'm done coloring, I'm moving on to my new laptop, which has Clip Studio Paint, which is superior software. I still think it's by the same company that made Manga Studio. But I'm really excited to get to that. It's different. It's formatted a little different. It's gonna be a little learning for me. But I am going to share. Spoiler alert! I'm going to share the first page that I do on Clip Studio Paint. Right now, I'm looking in the man. I'm definitely showing my age. I turned 43 recently. Thank you. I had a brilliant birthday party. why don't I start drawing and I can run my mouth about that? No, let me talk about that and take a few more sips of coffee. Huh? My family and I, we went to Put-in Bay on Lake Erie, and it was incredible. If you're anywhere near that area, I'd highly recommend it. You know, going out to the islands is fantastic. Which is great. Went to a place, Tipper's Seafood on Put-in Bay Island. Great food there, great service. And Clinton something or other at Port Clinton, not named after that hillbilly, like something else. Port Clinton, the Clinton House on the mainland in Port Clinton. Got an awesome bologna sandwich there. Our waiters in both instances. One of the waiter at Dippers, did I mess that up? Dippers Seafood? Sorry if I messed that up. Sorry if I said something different. I feel like I messed that up. Dippers Seafood. He was like Roni, Sony, something like that. And he was like this super nice guy. He was like of that you know, they always do this as they depart, you know. I said that is so, you know, that just gives me such a sense of peace, you know. He's just that gesture that you see in some of these foreign countries. I've always kind of liked that. I think the bow is just like, you know, hey, take some respect, you know, and you just humble yourself before other people. He was doing that like every time I made an order. I said, shoot, don't, you know, I was like starting to feel guilty. I'm like, dude, I just wanted a refill of water, but thank you very much, you know. He told me it was from Turkey, and I said, well, I know I really like Turkish Delight. That's it. And he's like, oh, Turkish Delight, yes. And I was like, yeah, it's hard to beat that stuff, you know. I'm sorry, that's about the extent of my knowledge of Turkey. I'm sure it's an awesome place. So, anyway, shut up, Lee, just shut up. Saw some rapper, some like little yo dance sing type dude. It's really big in the business. They were just flashing this video on, and he was interviewing some guy, and he had like face tattoos all over. I guess this guy's big. I don't know what you kids, I don't know what the latest stuff is. Yeah, and like he didn't like how the guy was interrupting him and kind of like, you know, knocking him off his high horse a little bit. And he was getting like really feisty. This scrawny dude, all hip hopped out, face tattoos, just really eccentric. I saw some other, he doesn't strike me as a totally off the wall, you know, he seems like someone who could be okay to chat with, but he's just like, shut up, shut up. That's what I reminded myself of when I told myself to shut up there. I don't think I'd tell someone else to shut up like that. The circumstances didn't seem to really call for that. Okay, so let's turn off Skype. Let's turn off, no, I don't want to update my Apple. Let's open Adobe. And actually, let me just show you. Alright, so I got a reference back. Always keep your previous pages handy to know what your characters were wearing, what they looked like. I mean, I drew this over 2 years ago, and I don't want to deviate too much. My style has not enhanced itself. You see this was originally in a horror magazine, and I wasn't sure if undead nips were okay. I mean, I figured it's like a mummy. It's not very gratuitous. I mean, it is a pretty freaky story and everything, but it never feels very, you know, too dirty. I think everything's just real. It gets pretty gnarly, it gets pretty ugly, it gets pretty dark, but and it also, while also staying kind of funny, almost satirical. There's some stuff I'd like to talk about while I'm drawing today. So yeah, anyway, go buy Overripe issue 1. And so, a little spoiler, you're gonna see a little something. If you, okay, close your eyes right now. If you don't want anything at all spoiled for Overripe issue 2, but I just want to show you. This is the other dimension. I don't want to give too much away, but I want you to maybe just a little hint. Take a look at this sphere, and maybe there's some connection between, like, maybe this is like a little radio that this girl originally regurgitated. I'm giving a lot away. It'd be more fun if you put this together in your mind and make these connections and whatnot. But she was implanted with a radio device to the other dimension. There, I said it, but okay. So now let's open Adobe. My computer was going so slow last night. I was having one of the, you know, I tried it, you know, in my You know, I try to think at this stage of my life and my spiritual maturity, if you will, whether you want to consider it maturity or not. I try to control my anger, but I had that little tinkling in my fingers, like I really wanted to grab my laptop and throw it out the window. And sorry, Lane just killed his coffee. I'm right back on it, I promise. Alright, caffeine's been officially ingested, fully ingested, 100%. Let's rock. Okay, so, of course, when you're drawing, you need a nice big comfy cushion. You need your Huon tablet. I guess now Clip Studio Paint, even though this is Adobe I'm using for black and white pages I created in Manga Studio. But you could just cut to the chase, just do it all in Clip Studio. I will say both have their advantages for coloring. Adobe is really awesome for filling in color. It feels so much smoother than what I did in Manga. And I don't know if I just like the tools better or what. Maybe it's just it just seems to run smoother. I can't even pinpoint exactly why. But then, like you take here, if you look at these trees, you know, this is what I was doing when I said I should start videotaping. I highlighted the trees. They're all white. Of course, I was filling in the color. And then I took my brush, and this is what I'm doing. I'm using this, whatever you call this particular brush. I wouldn't call it spray paint. It's kind of this speckled thing. But then you put it, the opacity at 25 is really perfect. And then you highlight and you fill in with your color, you know, brown in this case. And I said, you know what, they're kind of coming out from behind this chain link fence. And I'm not taking the time out to show obviously the wood behind the chain links. I said, why don't I make it look like they're kind of emerging from the darkness? So I took black and I just kind of, you know, just with the 25% opacity, it doesn't come on like fully solid black, so it just kind of shadows a wee bit. And I got that effect that they're emerging from the darkness a little bit, and they don't. And then this way, they don't. It doesn't conflict too much with the chain link fence here. And you'll get little mistakes like this, easily fixed. You know, where I left a little gap, the tiniest gap, like 1 or 2 pixels, and your magic wand, still don't know if that's the right name for this tool, will spill over. So just highlight it again, erase that particular portion, and then when you go back later, and I guess since we're there, why don't we just start with the leaves. Now this is something I did in a previous video, and see, I'm so OCD, I try to even catch these little gaps. I mean, you don't have to catch them all, obviously. So that's what I'm moving along. I just have that urge. And you can save yourself a little time. It's like I've said before, maybe don't get the tree directly behind, or just do one at a time, so then when I come back and do this tree behind it, I can give it some darker tones, and it'll make it, it'll separate them in space to the eye. You know, it will give the picture more depth. And if you didn't watch the previous video where I got into that, I'll give you another example. Pretty simple concept. So, am I recording? Yep. I always have this paranoid. It's like that same thing that says, "Lee, are you sure you turned the faucet off in the bathroom?" I was like, I know I hit record. Lee, are you sure you hit record? Get all the okay. So there's all the trees right here. So let's just zoom in. Now we got all the trees of the entire project. So yeah, my brush, and I can just do fill. Save yourself a little time. You should start off with a green. You know, lately when I'm doing these autumn leaves in this, I start off with a kind of sickly green, like this kind. Right now it's nighttime, so I'm gonna have some pretty rich colors, dark. I use some pale washed out colors Okay, once again, we're going to go back to Overripe issue 2. I don't want to give away too much, but let's just look at some washed out colors. This is a little washed out, kind of pale. And then you go to like right here, very rich, very thick. And you can do a bit of both. You know, you watch your color scheme, and I think you should do. Oh, this was a trick I wish I could have shared with y'all. But I can tell you right now, you fill in some, you put in some red and some black with the same brush I was just doing. I filled in black, then I gave some, then I filled in the black, made it a little richer, so it wasn't solid black, just it was texturized. You'll see me do it just as I'm about to do with the trees. Then I took the smudge tool and I smudged back and forth. And it'll catch these blacks, it'll drag the blacks off this line, even though that's not in the highlighted area. For whatever reason, it will still blend in the black from this line, even though you just have this space highlighted where you filled in the red and black. And it's pulling the black from the line of her hair. And I started playing around with this, and I said, that looks pretty cool, let's keep that. Alright, goodbye. What was I just talking about? Oh, you know, I watched the movie Hostel by Eli Roth, and the director, I don't know if it was the director of photography or whatever his job was, but one of the guys, because I watched some of the bonus features as I was working, this is years ago, but I just remember because he was talking about it. Now let's lay on some richer. There we go. He was talking about the progression of the colors of the film. I said that's absolutely right. It starts off very rich red and just very rich colors, you know, all over the place. And gradually, if you're not familiar with the film, yeah, it was a brutal film, crazy. Incidentally, he said he was inspired by those really crazy Japanese films like Ichi the Killer, and maybe he said Audition, I forget. He likes, like, Eli Roth is, you know, he and I think would have a lot to talk about. He loves the 70s exploitation of cannibal films, crazy Japanese violent films, stuff like that. And knows all about Mei Mei Lei. Okay, I'm going way off topic. Alright, so yeah, Hostel. You're watching it. It goes from these really rich colors. Now the stuff going on is not very color. I mean, it's colorful in a very depraved way. The people are very hedonistic and just on vacation and acting like complete dirt balls. You know, just trying to get, you know, trying to score with European broads. If that sounds politically incorrect, go cry to your mama. I'm just from that old school. And yeah, like gradually as the story gets darker and darker and you realize all is not as it seems, these girls are pulling you into a trap. The colors get more gray. Even the women, they lose, their makeup fades out, they start looking grosser and grosser. And it's just like the evil behind all the veneer is creeping out, and it's a gradual process, and I always thought that was such a cool thing. Now, what I'm getting at here is when you make your comic, you know, don't do it. You don't have to use just one style, one approach to how you lay on your colors for every single page. Like I have one kind of washed out, kind of flat when they're in the police department. I made it a little ramshackle. I made it look a little rickety, like stuff was made of wood. I just, you know, it's been a while since I've been inside a police department. And even when I was probably too inebriated to, no, I'm playing, mostly. Last time it was because I was talking about some idiot had hit our car. So I was pretty sober at that time, I think. What was it? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I made kind of flat, washed out colors. Then I get to the nighttime, and it's very rich and deep, very luscious colors, and just kind of flows. You know, just. I'm also trying to stay mindful. This is night, so you know, want to pop a little bit, but not too much. So I'm obviously giving way too much time to all this. That's enough of the trees. Who's next? What's next? What's next? What should we do? Let's keep rolling. Have I gotten all grass? That's all the grass. Once again, and let's go back to our spoilers because I got to reference back. I really hope you check out Overripe issue 2 when it comes out. Is it apparently will soon because I'm on a roll with these colors. Okay, so the here's another fun thing. These pages in particular with the visions and everything. They briefly look into this ball and this radio. It alters the world around them. It's almost like a transportation device, where they're surrounded by all this crazy stuff. So it's a pretty powerful thing. I don't know if it was just a vision. I honestly haven't worked that out. It seems like the ball should not be like that kind of power. Just shouldn't be thrown around the way it is. It seems like that should be a vision. All right, I think I've just made up my mind on that. That's a vision, if anybody asks. See, once again, we gotta correct this. There's a leak. That girl has a leak. And it's real dark green, right? Well, I thought that was pretty dark green. If y'all want to be entertained and you're not a kid, because the material gets very, very. Oops. Anyway, Sleazy P. Martini of Gwar fame. He's no longer involved with Gwar, but he's continued that character. And I maintain I was just never that big of a Gwar fan. A couple songs. Not a big Gwar fan. One thing about Sleazy P. Martini, he's really down on death metal. Like he is from the old school. He was all over the place well before. He's been in that scene before death metal really came out. What time is it? 1:45. Okay, gotta leave to battle the lousy downtown Cincinnati traffic and. At 3:30. I'll go pick my daughter up. Talk about discouraging. I paid $3 to park my car in downtown Cincinnati outside of the... That wasn't Cincinnati. It's Covington, Kentucky? Oh, Lord. Newport, Kentucky? I gotta get my head straight around this stuff. Yeah, because it's across the bridge from Cincinnati. It's at the Cincinnati Aquarium that's not technically in Cincinnati. But Cincinnati just has a little more of a reputation. See, I can't even remember if that's Covington or been going there for Lord knows how long. I'm pretty sure it's Newport, but I thought Covington was also, I don't know squat. I parked my car there and went on a good run. Explored the place, really cool. And I bumped into one of the ladies from the aquarium. I said, are they going to be coming out? I'd like to wave to my daughter. She said, oh yeah, that's at 9:45 that'll be coming out. I waited. I saw my daughter and she... Oops. Deselect. I got this feeling that she had been having a rough time, and that happens, she's a kid. They have rough times. And I was a little discouraged, but I know she's in good hands, so. Oh yeah, right, she's got brown pants, girl's got brown pants. I will try to do as quickly as I can, honestly. I spend as much time rambling, anybody who's actually watching. Get on with it. I do want to get to this shading technique, and just because it's a ways off, I'll show you right here. You can see these little smudges. See right here the line on the edge of the house? Well, it's a good effect, and you might not be able to appreciate it as much if you don't see the before. But it's just the same principle. It's like shading in just the right key areas you know, a crease, a cross, what have you. Just really makes an illustration. It brings out more potential. You can see I put it right there, and it just makes them look not quite as flat. Now I tried one thing where I left the characters looking kind of flat because I was looking at it. Actually, you know what? I'll just show you. I did more spoilers. Well, you don't know actually what's going on, but you're gonna like have an idea. It was I think here, for example, I didn't give a lot of attention to the characters. You might say here as well. Yeah, and I liked it. I said this almost looks like a 70s or 80s cartoon with a lot of attention to the background where the characters are just, you know, I mean, there's some shading here more than you'd find in an 80s or 70s animation, but they kind of stand in the foreground a little bit. I thought that was kind of a neat effect, the detailed background, and just leaving the characters a little flat. I honestly can't even tell you if it was intentional or unintentional. I looked at it. I think I looked at it and I said it's kind of neat, and it reminded me of those old cartoons. And now, as you can see, I'm giving them a little more attention. Like I said, just whatever feels right in the moment. Whether you're whether you like to make your art very uniform, all very, you know, just one very constant style, or if you like to play around and experiment and just go with what feels right in the moment, which of course leaves your art open to becoming, not uniform, the opposite of uniform, which is fine by me. It's up to you, you know. But I say, you know, maybe you're doing a page and what felt right with the previous page doesn't feel right for this page. And I say listen to your gut. That's me. Of course, if you're in a situation where you have to, I mean, maybe you're working for an animation studio and, wait, what color pants are those? Like a dark yellow. Yeah, here we go. I mean, then maybe you do want to just get one style down and go with it. It's just whatever your situation is and what feels right to you, or what your boss prefers if you're actually getting, you know, doing work for somebody else, in which you're probably making more money than I am. So, good for you. Daggone it. See, this is what I'm talking about. Even like these solid blue windows. This thing is... I downloaded the Among Us game for my daughter, and all it did was, like... I'm pretty sure it was legit software, but... Oh yeah, red, of course. Red top. Wearing red. I'm trying to figure out this girl's style. She was wearing, like, light blue previously. And I said, what should she be wearing now? I said, how about red? See, like, even here, I don't think... No one's going to really care, but... Just get this urge to... Also, like, it's like a challenge. It's almost like a video game. Like I could zoom in and get these little mistakes, you know, get a wider area to aim the wand. Sometimes I just like seeing how precise. I've actually got pretty good precision. So see, that's probably not even important at all. It's like once you zoom out, it's like you're going to miss a couple little pixels here and there. I mean, you get so close, it looks a little sloppy up close, but that's how it is with these faraway drawings. And I'm going to talk about it. I can't wait to get done coloring these pages because I'm going to break in Clip Studio Paint with the first official comic page I've done on that with the 1200 DPI instead of the 600 DPI I've been using on this. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to make a tremendous difference, but the resolution size is going to be twice of what you're seeing. So when you get really close, there's going to be more. Twice is much of an advantage for detail. Where I get real close and the pixels, the lines, just are very pixelated when I move in real close. So this will give an advantage to my comics in the future. And I should shut up. Obviously, I can't memorize colors when I'm talking. Usually, I think I can draw and talk pretty well at the same time. But this is the frustrating part. I do need to keep referencing back to make sure I get the colors right. So Lord knows I've made that mistake before. All right. I finished Gross Issue 2. Cult comic first appeared in Strange Eons magazine. And that is a heck of a story. I don't know if I started issue 2 at the hospital when my daughter was being born. A few months later, I did the second installment of issue 2. So I did 7, 8 pages. Then I did another 7 or 8 pages. Say 8, 16. How many did? Oh, probably 7. Yeah, 14. Cause then anyway, I rounded it out to 22 pages. I think it came out to 22 pages. And yeah, I mean, I finished it. My daughter just had her 9th birthday, so that was on the shelf. Let's knock it all out. Let's get all the skin tones. That was on the shelf for nearly a decade, a long time. And I finished it. And when I was compiling the comic, I said I'm going to release it after all this time. And finally putting this comic out there. And I was looking, I said, I got, this girl's dress is wrong. You know, it's green in one cell and then it's like purple in the next. So I corrected that for the final product. After all these years. Let's go for broke. See, I wanted to give her a little more darker complexion. Like, this is the girl that is friends with these girls who have, and she lives in the same kind of row house looking like lower income area, but it's like her. I thought the contrast was interesting because, oops, if you read Overripe issue 1, they're in the very similar, almost identical apartment layouts. You know, the design, the architecture, or what have you. The floor plan is pretty much identical, and then it's like this girl's is like kind of shabby. She lives with her, you know, single father, and then this girl, obviously, you know, her parents are staying in a much cheaper area, but take really good care of it, and the girl just has this very healthy aesthetic appearance. You know, she looks like she's out in the sun more, like she dresses nicer, but they're all good friends, and isn't that a beautiful thing? I made these, I've talked about it before, I've run my mouth, but I'm fed up with the current state of storytelling, of comics, of fantasy. Some people are doing it right. There's one that you all are watching right now. They got it almost dead on, except for some of the woke, like, crap. I mean, sorry, I don't want to sound, it's like I'm so sick of seeing all this virtue signaling crap. I won't get real deep into that, but it's like, it's almost mandatory. Everyone's got to put in the token. It's the token stuff. You know, it doesn't feel natural. It's like, it's just popping your coins into a machine so everyone can say, all right, you pass. Let's go down the checklist. Do you have this kind of lifestyle? Do you have this skin tone? Like, give me a freaking break. You're going to try not to get real cynical. You know what show I'm talking about. It's Stranger Things. And some of the moments of, some of it's a little too syrupy, I think. I mean, you know, sometimes I'm like, all right, you guys, you know, you're growing up. You gotta get your testicles, and they do have, you know, they do have testicles, I guess. I'm talking in the figurative sense. I mean, I know they all got nuts. I mean, it's just how basic human anatomy is, but they don't always act like they got them. Sometimes it's a little too sugary for me. But actually, that's not fair, because a lot of times it's not. I really got to give a lot of credit to that show. A lot of the stuff going on is just really right on. Even the corny stuff, I realized I really appreciate it. I mean, I could talk at length about that show and just what makes it so great, and then you all know why, especially you fellow children of the '80s. So many reasons why it does work. Just so many. But you know, one thing, I was watching it and I kept on saying, all right, you know, I said, if someone watches Stranger Things and they happen to read my comics, they're not identical, but I know some ignoramus out there will say, you know, I wanted to share this with you. I'm not even doing the cool tricks. But we're here. Let's just make this page happen. Boring parts and interesting parts alike. Whichever come first. Let's just go.
Got a leak there. What was I just talking about? Yeah, I was watching. I said, man, I'm so glad I released my comics years before this. Because if you read Door to Death, like if any ignoramus were to read Door to Death, I can. It's. They would definitely say, this guy totally ripped off Stranger Things. Now, once again, Door to Death came out way before Stranger Things. All right, I give up. I said I was precise, but I guess I'm not that precise, but I really want. There we go. Thank you. In these small details, that's what just adds the time on, piles the time onto doing these. It's the small details. You know, if you could just, these wide areas, no problem. Going back and getting all the pupils and the lips and so time consuming, but it's got to be done. Give your comic the attention it deserves. I say don't turn it. I say, you know, if I was making mad money, maybe I'd give a page the kind of attention Junji Ito does. I mean, maybe I would, but you know, I gotta. This is still just a work of passion for me. Until I start making wicked money off it, then I can consider putting just ridiculous amounts of time into it. Right now, I got to balance it out. Work versus fun. Make it look right. Just don't kill yourself over it. It's just. Oh, that sounds horrible. I was about to say it's just a comic. That's not me at all. That's not my style. Oops. Deselect. Let's get the brown pupil girls. Yeah, pretty precise. Look at that. I was watching. I said, this is so much. I mean, but the thing is, what you got to understand, I didn't invent that either, and Stranger Things got a lot of these ideas from elsewhere and all that good stuff. And I would say I mostly got my ideas, actually not from the 80s so much as Silent Hill and Forbidden Siren, those games. And when I was a kid, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, and actually just real life, which sounds crazy, but my nightmares, I kept on saying, what does this mean? And, you know, of course I had these spiritual convictions. I said, I know there's something way more than this. I'd look up into the stars at night, I'd say, I know this is not all there is. This is a tiny little piece of something huge, something enormous, something beyond imagining. And so I did a lot of imagining. And you know, years later I read Lovecraft. That's what I've often said. I don't think, you know, Lovecraft didn't make me do this stuff. I was drawn to him because I was already kind of into that stuff. I mean, I wouldn't say, you know, just a lot of people have these ideas and explore these. You know, you just look up at the stars and you start to wonder. And you don't always, you know, a lot of us, believe it or not, we don't think that, we don't imagine, you know, Care Bears and Rainbow Bright and all this, you know, all this, all this. Is there any word you can say? Can I really not say sissy or pansy anymore? I mean, what is this world coming to? Wimpy, wussy. You know, this girly stuff. You know, everyone's getting all uptight about this. Like, you know, go cry to your mom. Go cry about it. People used to have real problems they worried about. Now I got to worry about saying words. Get bent. If anybody has a problem with me saying words like that, you're an idiot. You're just a pathetic, sad, desperate, whiny little bee. Is what you are. Get lost. If words hurt your feelings, go cry to your mom. That's all you're good for. Yeah. I imagine stuff that was scary, you know. I guess if you want to go way back, I mean, you know, the idea of aliens, you know, I asked my mom if there were aliens. She said, some people think on other planets there could be. And that was it. I was like, oh man. I remember one of the first more ambitious projects I did. I took these like wooden clothespins and I made these like sharp-eared, vampire-looking alien creatures. And I wanted to make a spaceship for them. In kindergarten, I made this spaceship. You could unfold the doors and put this little googly-eyed alien inside. And like everyone in my class asked me to make one for them. I told this story not too long ago, but the one of the most tragic stories of my life, as far as like what happened to me when I was a kid. I'm not going to tell it again right now, but it kind of comes off the tail of that, of just being in demand and being wanted, and then having the one person who I needed to show me appreciation and love, doing the exact opposite, and me just thinking, just resenting everybody else. I obviously believed I was not worth it. Everyone around me said, "Wow, dude, you're gonna be rich, this and that," and then I tried to tell him share what was going on, and man, I'm dead. Don't do that. If someone's hurting you, out to get you, if someone is toxic, you don't have to tell them squat, because they're going to use it against you. They will go after it. They will go after it. They will destroy it if they can. That's exactly what happened. And I mean, it was life shattering. It is utterly life shattering what happened back then. I mean, I just remember how ready I was to go, just how amazing things were. And I just can't believe how far back I was pushed. I can't believe how much damage that did. All right, anyway, you get your eraser. If you got your brush and you got this and you don't feel like going through all the trouble to like reset your brush over and over, because then I got to get the solid. I got to go up here, get one of these, change the size, change the opacity to 100. Instead, save yourself a little time. Go to the eraser, pick the color you want to make, and the eraser, if it's set to erase to the underlying color, the secondary color, then yep. See, oops, save yourself a wee bit of time, so you can make your eraser like a backup pen, basically, and just see how OCD. See, no one's gonna notice like 2 pixels, and I'm just so OCD. Sometimes I'm like, I just want to get it down to every last little square, even if it makes absolutely no difference once you get that microscopic. Once you get that minuscule, where when the page is released as it is in comic or Kindle digital form or what have you, no one will even notice that. It'll be too daggone small. But I do it anyway, just cause. So I guess I am slightly crazy. Oh man, seriously? Well, my same trick, check it out. Knit, eraser, and beep, the end, fixed. What time is it? 2:06, gonna leave an hour and 20 minutes about. Okay, so, let's get her shirt. Once again, she's wearing brown, a brown top, brown hoodie. You see, well, this brush right here, and using the 25% opacity, this is probably the main reason why it goes so much faster than it did on Manga Studio. Now, I'm gonna give you more details than you need or asked for, but I got to contrast, and sometimes I honestly forget which is the preferred one after I'm away from it for a while. I got to rediscover what works better, what works how. But I was doing. Let's do the tint. Yeah. I did Manga Studio. Okay, spoilers. Close your eyes. I'll tell you when you can open them. I did the final page of issue 2. Alright, so as you can see, this was done in Manga Studio. Now, why did I color it in Manga Studio? Because I had my portable tablet that only has Manga Studio, so I just colored it. It was when I was taking my daughter. And it's got some really brilliant effects. You know what I think it is? I think maybe the pen I was using is capable of so many more details. See these trees? I was sitting there and doing all this texturizing for the park, And you know, I'll do stuff like this. I'll do stuff like this in Adobe, and just some shading there. I did the leaves pretty much similar strategy as I use in Adobe Photoshop. Watch out for all these woke hippies. Alright, okay, you can open your eyes. Spoilers over. Oops, close them again. Close them again. I gotta go back. I gotta go back. Let's get back to the tent. Yeah, so that this very last page, I just opened that up. I finished the black and white and I started coloring it when I had my portable tablet, which is also kind of dying. The charger's all messed up, and I even saw the screen flicker a few times. That's the tablet, that was brought back to me, thankfully, and I was really sad when I left it in Virginia, in a safe place. It was returned to me. Now I think that tablet is, especially with Clip Studio waiting for me to rock it, it's almost obsolete, except for like if I'm out of town and I have the thing with me, then maybe, I might take it here and there. It's just if I'm not, if the way I'm approaching comics right now, it's like I've gotten so much done, I can really just kind of sit back and take a break. I still love doing comics, and I still will. But, let's do some black here. There we go. Because I feel like I'm at the point where I can do most of it just here at home when I want. And, I don't know, I'll probably do some on the tablet. It's just, with Clip Studio Paint, I can get the better resolution. It processes faster on this brand new laptop. It's just a lot of this is falling by the wayside. Also, it's like I said, when I get these comics done, one of my biggest things is just looking forward to getting out and experiencing real life, which I'll do for a little bit, and I'll even play some video games, I admit. Yeah, let's go back. A little too rich, a little too dark. I got that portable tablet, and I just, it's great to be reunited with it. I just don't know. Don't know how much more I'll use it. I got it back. I just took it to the swim meets and stuff like that, and did some work with it when I was out and about. And now I've decided I'm just going to do the rest of my coloring in Adobe, because it's, might as well. And yeah, it's almost obsolete. Oops, wrong color. Cool. Too much? Nope. Let's give it a little. Let's try getting some of that black. So Overripe is on Webtoons now. This is what I'm saying. It's like I want everyone to be free to do whatever kind of stupid comic you want. And it's not like I have any more claim to this stuff than you do. I mean, I'm 43. I've loved comics since I knew they existed. My granddad Bill is the first one who bought me a comic, a Fraggle Rock comic, which was also a victim to the Purge. Sorry, a lot of my stuff got thrown out. Account of me being moved far away from where I wanted to be, and just, oh god, that's just another horror story. Stuff that was done to me, consequently to my stuff. My precious, all my Carcass CDs, my Cannibal Corpse CDs, Obituary, Pathologist, Dead Infection, all of it. All my comics from childhood, bye-bye, including the one Granddad Bill got me, Fraggle Rock. The one I had all autographs, the Tales from the Crypt with where the Crypt Keeper printed my letter in it. Just so many, just unbelievable what people do to you. It blows my mind. I don't know how. So they're like, oh, we gotta carry this stuff around. I was like, yeah, I never wanted to move here. And then I tried to make it my own way. No one would let me move out. And then they told everyone I wouldn't move out. And every time I tried to, people started crying and throwing a fit. It's like, God, why was this stuff done to me? I don't know. Who does this to a kid? You know, what's the payoff? You know, what do you get? It feels good. It's make you feel good hurting people. Someone ever comes up to you and says, well, my son, and just starts painting this like horrible, terrible picture instead of saying, whoa, sounds like you got a bad son. He ought to go to military school. Consider for a second, maybe the person is lying. Maybe. Oh, why did I do that? She's got totally wrong. See, running my mouth, losing track, getting frustrated. I say I don't, you know, it's like you can't be angry about this stuff. You can't. It doesn't do you any good. It's over. But the damage is still done, you know? That's what I just think. But anyway, what was I saying? I've been into comics since I was teensy tiny. And it's like, you know, newcomers are welcome, you know, people, no, everyone's allowed to enjoy this thing. It's just, you know, it's like I see so much fake stuff. And like so many people showed up. When? Well, yeah, after it got hot. It's like, this is hot, you know, something becomes trendy. And not even, in the superheroes, I just thank goodness I'm not into superheroes, you know? And thank goodness I'm not into superheroes. Because superheroes are totally hijacked. A lot of those fans are just, you know, some of them are all for all this crap. And there's just a lot of them. I think Eric July is a good example. You know, he's just like, dude, what are you doing to Batman? You know, or whatever. I'm just like, I'm sorry, buddy. You know, I'm right there with you. I totally feel everything you're saying. It's just the good news for me is, guess what? I was never into Batman. No, nothing against it. I think he's cool, like some of the movies, whatever. Just that I'm not that dude like, ooh man, I can't wait to go see a new Batman movie. What am I doing here? Okay, so red. What other stuff did I want to talk about? I don't know. Time 2:16. Wonder if I can get this page done before I have to go. Let's pick it up. Let me try to not be so uptight. Let's see, did I get it on point? I did not. I got the black line. So I do undo, I go back, there it is. And while we're down here, look at that one little bit of eyebrow. Bada bing. Bada bang, bada boom. Watched The Fifth Element again not too long ago. I really do enjoy that movie. Believe it or not, you're an old curmudgeon like me. I really like The Fifth Element. I guess, of course, that is going back to when I was in like high schools when that came out, so maybe. But I don't hate Mila Jovovich, but that Make Bada Boom like was really annoying. I get, you know, some of these like nerdy fantasy writers who like are, you know, kind of cucks or whatever you want to call them, and just have this fantasy as some like half naked, super hot woman like doing ninja kicks and, you know, just being a total dominatrix or dominant force or what have you. Is somehow kind of sad, but of course I guess everyone would get mad at me. You know, hey, I'm not saying all women got to be totally vulnerable and sensitive or everything, but also, I don't know. I guess also at the same time, you see, I shouldn't be. I'm not passing judgment. I'm not saying the writer is like this of The Fifth Element. But it did kind of just remind me of that, like, you know, this like some geek's fantasy of. Wait, no, she's wrong girl. Some geek's fantasy of. I don't know, just being the protector of some hot woman who has red, orange dreadlocks and knows all these ninja skills for whatever, because she's like the perfect human being or something, but at the same time has this kind of annoying voice. Bada boom. I'm like, ugh, stop that. Big pata. Bitch, shut the. Yeah, oh man, some of the fakers I've seen. I wanted to punch this girl in the face. She showed up dressed as R2D2. And she's like just trying to sweet talk my friend into giving her like some super discount on this piece. And he's got to go holler at this other guy he's got to catch up with real quick. He's like, hey, could you just tell her that she can have this for such and such? I'm like, you're giving her a discount. I'm watching this girl like trying, and she's doing this like cutesy thing with him. And he's young, like 10 years younger than me. And I'm just like, God. And later on, I think he kind of passively told me he was a little disappointed that I didn't get back to her. I said, dude, I walked right up to her. I said, hey, my bud says he'll give it to you for such and such. She's standing with her boyfriend's caught up with her. I said, he wanted me, because I had to go do something. And I'm sick of waiting for this girl to come back. She's talking to some other idiot. I want to do this for my friend. I'm annoyed, but I'm like, let me go do this and get, said, excuse me. You know, she's talking to somebody, and she looks over at me all annoyed. I'm like, dude, you were bugging him for about a half hour to bring his price down, and he decided to make a compromise to sell it to you. And she's looking at me like I'm an idiot. She's like, okay. And she's dressed up as R2D2 and this dress, and like, she's not very good looking. And you know how it is. You know how it is with these nerds. Like, she's a girl, and like she's into Star Wars. You know, I did not have that reaction to this woman. She annoyed the heck out of me from the get-go. But I just thought, oh, cool, she's into Star Wars. I love I mean, a lot of people love Star Wars, but I'm so fed up with people who are not into Star Wars pretending they're into Star Wars or anything. You know, it's like this, because it causes problems where you go up to these people, you're like, dude, right on, did you know that blah blah blah, and then you're talking to them for a minute and they're looking at you like you're from another planet, and you're like, you're not into this thing, you just like bought the shirt at Hot Topic and you're not. It's like, what is your identity? You know, because I remember at 13, I was looking for my identity because I didn't identify with anything until I heard Carcass. I knew I liked horror movies and Jason and Freddy and everything, but as everyone was listening to all this music that I didn't like, MTV was just spoon-feeding all this crap. Then I passionately got into death metal, and so I wore death metal shirts. If someone hollered at me about my death metal shirt, which very rarely happened because I was forced into that retarded hoopty high school, where the darkest things, the most metal you could find was some Mansonite posers. Maybe that's not fair. I mean, like, so I'm talking to chick and I'm like, oh, did I say chick? Who cares? Get over it. And I says, oh, you're R2D2, so you're into Star Wars. And she says, yeah, I just thought the dress was cute. I'm like, okay, so you're not, do you even know which droid that is? Is it the one that goes, oh, thank the maker, or is it the one that goes, woo, 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 woo? You know, it's like, you know, it's not super duper important. It's just like, please, good gravy. Some people actually like this stuff, and you kind of pervert it, you kind of bastardize it, when you just use it to like show off your breasts. You know, because that's what it was. I mean, it was low cut. She's just trying to show off her stupid hooters, which were not that impressive at all. And it annoys me. I remember seeing this picture, all these women, and they say, don't objectify us. And then it's like, you look at their pictures, and it was this horde of slave Princess Leias. Now, that was the first, like, you know, I didn't know much about, you know, the birds and the bees, but I knew when I looked at that picture of Princess Leia, I was like mesmerized. I mean, sorry, a little TMI, but I remember just feeling like, oh my gosh. I'm sure, and like, I was just like, I couldn't stop looking at it. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, it was sexy. It was like just incredibly sexy, you know. And, you know, it wasn't like too indecent or too over the top for, you know, a young boy to see. It didn't, you know, it wasn't, it didn't open up take the lid off too many questions. It's just like it's a sexy woman, you know. She ain't doing anything real lewd or crass or disgusting or horrible. But, you know, it's just like, daggone. And so all these women are dressed up as slave Leia, and it's like, and you're looking at the picture, you're like, these tramps are not into Star Wars at all, but they invade this scene, and then they just try to rip off the artists. That's what they're doing. It's like, you know, they show up, and they just, what do they want? What do all these women want in the end? There's that Mel Gibson movie. I'm not trying to be sexist here. I'm not saying this is what y'all want, but what do those women want? Free drinks. And they're perverting Star Wars to do it. They're playing on our, like, you know, you see this stuff, metal too. Like, you see someone, you see these guys, they call them, like, I remember my buddy Ern called them metal dolls. They show up and they're just wearing the t-shirt and they're all hot and like, totally just like, they got themselves all decked out. The tits are all like, you know, prominent, wearing super duper tight clothes, ripped up in all the wrong places or whatever. And someone's just like, you know, a young naive person, which I was at one point, and now I'm an older, slightly less naive person, say something stupid like, dude, she's like hot and she's into metal. I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. Like, she's just here and like she's just looking for attention. I'm sorry, I'll believe it when I see it. I believed it when I saw Flagitious Idiosyncrasy in the Dilapidation, Japanese all-female grindcore band. They got up there on stage. I've probably told this story before. It's an amazing story. To me, it's an amazing story. They got up on stage, and I thought it was Gallhammer. It was a Japanese black metal band, and they were. I totally respect Gallhammer, but what's the nice way to say? They were a little more talented than I am, which is to say not very talented musically. But they could make these real gloomy, but no one expects that out of black and death metal. It's not a requirement. If you can slam your instruments and make some creepy riffs. What I'm saying is I totally respect Gallhammer. Now, I saw 3 Japanese women get up on stage. Who else could it be but Gallhammer? I'm at the Maryland Death Fest. I mean, how many death metal bands have 3 Japanese women in them? Maybe Flagitious had 4, and I thought they had an extra member. I don't think so, but I don't want to be inaccurate here. I don't want to claim something as fact if I don't have my details right. But I was just like, oh, this must be Gallhammer. Here we go. This will be cute. You know, they're cute. Japanese women learn how to play some, real basic sounding, but gloomy, cool black metal songs. I'm going to stick around. And not to slight Gallhammer, what they do is good, but this was not Gallhammer. It was Flagitious Idiosyncrasy and the Dilapidation. And they just started shredding, I'll just never forget that. They were completely ripping the stage apart. I mean, not literally, of course, but you know what I mean. They were just shredding it. What I saw was something to behold, as I recall. I was watching them just, good Lord, these ladies are really into this, man, I was completely blown away. We caught up with them. My drunk friend was, and I've been guilty of being incredibly drunk at the Maryland Death Fest, but I decided to stop so I could start remembering the shows and stop alienating my favorite bands. Oh God, this one person who's not even worth mentioning is long gone, thank goodness, started saying, asking my drunk friend if he can help get a discount. I'm like, oh, come on. They were selling this stuff for pocket change. I doubt they were even breaking even on what they were charging for this. So I was so annoyed. All right, we're doing the house here. Let me just say this real quick. And I'm going to put probably a darker tone brown on the house. I'm pretty sure the walls right here, I'm going to put a darker tone. So these will be a lighter tone brown. You can see where I put in some darker tones there just to make those spindles or whatever they're called stand out a little more. Give it a little more depth. Just go for it. All right, that's a glass door, so pass on that. All right, here we go. I got an hour before I leave. Let's just see how far we can get. Give it a little. Oh yeah, so the one kind of snaky friend asked my drunken friend if he can score a discount, and he's being. I'm like, dude, please don't do this. He's like, no, I got this. I love this guy. I'm not slighting him. I've done a million times worse, so I'm not trying to embarrass this dude. But I was embarrassed. I was like, oh, please don't, you know. And they were like, their English wasn't very good. One of their boyfriends was with. One of them had, I guess, her boyfriend with her, and they were sitting there discussing it in Japanese, like trying to figure out what this drunk American was talking about. I was supposed to make this darker, not light. Idiot. So you get your head straight. And they were sitting there talking, and then very sweetly, the lady just looks back at him and says, "No." It's just like, I'm sorry, and I like, he took off, and I apologized for him, and I said, "You all did a very good job." And then, "Thank you," and I was like, you know, because I'm thinking, you know, I had to admit later, I said those for that violent of music, you know, the male part of me, I just got to admit, they were pretty hot. Yeah, everyone was, you know, so all these, like, you know, metal dudes are like totally slobbering over them. But I mean, you know, it was refreshing because I look at this, and you see a lot of this in Japan. Their craft, they just get really passionate about something, and they're real about it. They get into something. And I remember there was this. I follow Broken Hope a lot. I love the death metal band Broken Hope, and there's this Japanese woman who went out and saw them. I guess I think they're, yeah, or maybe it was Immolation and Broken Hope went to Japan, I think. Let's do the eraser trick again for this smaller line because there's a bleed there. I don't feel like messing with it. Of course, that gives the 100 dpi, not dots per inch. That gives the 100 opacity. Let's give it a little. See if I. Oh, daggone it! Come on, no. Annoying. For the love of goodness, you gonna let me do this? Oh, that's right. I gotta get to the back. Yeah, I just saw on social media there was this Japanese woman, very unassuming, and she just loved like Immolation and Broken Hope or something. And I was just, you know, I guess they call it face stalking. I mean, I wasn't asking her to, you know, fly over to America and hang out, but I was just looking at her profile because, you know, people interest me, and stuff like this interests me. I like looking at just the profiles of other fans from other countries, like on the Carcass website or social media page or whatever. I was looking at her and said, this is so interesting to me because, you know, I mean, I know it's not just Japan where you'll find this, but I've seen a lot of it coming out of Japan. But she's just real into death metal and like some sports, I forget, like soccer or something like that. He just looked at the woman and it's not an ego thing. And I was really impressed. I said she's not trying to gain anything. It's not a fashion statement. If you look at her, you'd never know. It's just this woman at some point heard death metal, said, "That's pretty interesting." Oh, I'm sorry, was that politically incorrect? I don't care. And she checked more into it, and she said, "Man, cool, I'm going to go check out some of these shows." And I just think that's so cool. And then you get all these daggone dirtbags who have no identity whatsoever. And I know this because I've talked to them so many times. They'll be wearing some shirt of something I really like, and I just ask them about it. Dude, what did you think? And they don't know anything about it. I've complained about this at length, but we're talking about comics here. And these people get into this scene where, like I said, I don't have any major claim to this scene. I don't. It's not mine, I don't own it, but I'm allowed to do these things, and I can do them without some retard coming over and attacking me because I'm not doing some pink-haired, girly, transvestite comic, you know? It's like, you want to do that stuff, fine. But it's like, I don't understand. It's like, why don't you just leave other people the hell alone who don't want to go with your same agenda, you know? You got this mission you're on, and everyone's doing that stuff now. It's nothing impressive. It's nothing shocking. It's nothing new. It does nothing for me. I don't like it. I don't have to like it. I don't even get on your page and start ripping you or calling you a groomer or a pervert or a weirdo or a freak or anything like that. But you come over to me because I don't do politically correct comic work. It's like I said, I'm an older dude. I'm from before. I'm not the most alpha dude you're ever gonna meet. But I also don't start crying when people do something that I don't particularly agree with or like. And you all did, and some of you losers do. And frankly, people that do that should not be involved in art. That's what I say. You're welcome to it, but don't start attacking me because I'm not doing your stupid knockoff anime gender bender Scheiße. Did I say that right, Germans? I think Scheiße. I don't know. I don't want to say the actual word. I keep it PG. 13. I guess that coffee was a little strong. Should they all have the same pillow? No, let's give... I don't know. What about a green pillow? That's a little more like it. Reminds me of the pillow we got in my daughter's room. I think it has a great, like, pale green slipcase. Let's just, I was gonna say like maybe they're borrowing pillows, but they're at this girl's house, and her mom is very lazy and slovenly and fat and rude and probably not very accommodating. So they probably brought all their own pillows and sleeping bags. It looks like the kind of woman who goes online and calls people's politically incorrect work racist. That still blows my mind. I'm still so lit up about that idiot. Let's give her blue. Don't want it to blend in too much with the tint. Because like I still think it's so idiotic because the idiot like didn't even read the comic. I mean, you got to read the whole comic, and they're already throwing around a very, very, very loosely. These people throw around these inflammatory words like racism. I get on Amazon. I say, I wonder if anyone likes my comic. I check up and got a rating, 1 star. That's not good. What didn't they like? You know, I know I'm not Junji Ito, but it's like I'm not that bad. You know, I think I deserve a chance. You know, you don't have to be. Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. But I said racist. You know, I said you didn't read the comic. Probably got it on the free promotion, and you're calling me racist. Drop dead. Pink backpack. Let's put it. And what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, well, when I look at Junji Ito, when I look at his earliest work, it was really good, but it was, it was much more raw, of course. It was a lot more primitive compared to what he does these days. Naturally, he got picked up. I mean, he had more incentive to pour a little more of himself into it. Oops. And, sorry, okay. Yeah, there was a reason to just work harder on these things, and I think he's got some. I think he's got some assistants that help him with the inking and everything. So, Junji Ito, as I've said many, many a times, is just brilliant. Don't forget to save frequently, especially if your computer's a piece of junk. Well, forgive me, computer. You've been real good to me, but. Just to be on the safe side, every once in a while hit that save button. Oops. Have I not saved? Okay, I'm going to save as, let's put it in, this is still in the black and white folder. I want to save my black and whites. Doesn't hurt to have them sitting around. You just never know if you might need them for something. I seriously doubt I'm going to need the black and white originals, but it just doesn't hurt to have have them in a folder. It's just a digital file. And I'm about to burst from that coffee I drank, so everyone sit tight. Think happy thoughts. about how I'm not racist. Like I said, I was kind of hurt me to see my girl looking a little bummed out. I know she's having a great time at this camp. It's just, kids are emotional. At least it's better than fully grown young adults with like purple hair who are whining and calling everyone racist that doesn't do stupid comics of the sort they like. But they're into Junji Ito. Junji Ito's hot now. That's what I say. I've been reading Junji Ito since I was 22. I wish I'd known about him way before that. I remember like death metal bands from Japan, grindcore bands, would steal his art and put it on their flyers, their promotional flyers. I used to see it. I said, man, that is really twisted and cool. I kind of wonder where that came from. It came from these amazing stories by this man, Junji Ito. But now, yeah, man, so many kids holler at me. And and most of those kids, God bless them, you're allowed to be younger than me and get into this thing. We all got to break in. We all got to be newbies. We all got to be green. We all got to discover ourselves at some point. As teenagers, when a lot of them are finding out. And, so kids holler at me, and I think it's great. In a lot of ways, I think it's great. But you also got pipsqueaks like this that, probably thought saw the similarities or read that I was into Junji Ito. I did put up, I said, hey, everyone, this is my work. I know this is a Junji Ito page. I know I'm not as good as the man, obviously. I mean, Cartoon Network's not licensing out my material for animated series, but it's like I'm highly influenced by him. It's not as good. It's very different. And, I got a lot of nice feedback. Maybe the idiot was motivated by that to check it out. I don't know where. I don't know how. I just know this person's a loser. It still makes me say, no one has a right to call you that, especially over something so flimsy, And these days, using words, you got these morons out here. This has got to stop. But people are getting called racist just for being born, and that's bullcrap. I don't care what you say. You can say all this. You're denying history. It's like I don't even want. I know what you're getting at. We're all racist according to you. Guess what? I don't have time for it. I seriously don't. It's like anybody who's just saying we are all racist is just stupid. I could go on and on about this, but you have no right to attack my stuff just because it's not some candy ass crap that you like, little purple-haired unicorns going around and saying, I identify as, or whatever they're saying. Just get bent. Go do it. It's like this thing with webtoons. I'm not slamming webtoons, but I'm looking at the selection and I'm just going, ugh. And I don't know, and I'm sure a lot of these PC ninnies who love to cancel everything that isn't right up their alley would cheer this on, but I would wholeheartedly agree, because you're a bunch of spiteful little cry bully ninnies. But I don't know how much I belong. I do and I don't. The thing is, there is horror stuff there. I don't think in a way this is a good thing. I don't see much stuff out there that feels like mine. I really don't. The closest I can compare it to is Hideshi Hino, or maybe like Rap Fink or something like that. Not exactly, but going in that direction. Gnarly, morbid, cartoon, horror, whatever. I don't know. I liked being compared to Tim Burton at times. I'm not really trying to be anything other than what just comes to me. I have imitated other styles, but ultimately it's just what comes most natural, and that isn't the most marketable, amazing thing, but it is. It's its own category almost. That's a little too pretentious. Not its own category. It is. It's just unique is probably also too pretentious. It's just my own. It's just original. It's not a cheap knockoff. It's not like, well, that looks cool what Junji Ito's doing. Let me try to do something just like it, which is, and that's a good point to start. But these stories are all true to my heart. They have been inspired by many other things, but in particular, my own experiences and nightmares, and rock on. I stand by them. And for some loser, some scuzzbucket to just come by and call them racist, and that's all you get, that's all you got, then, it's such an insult. I've worked for years on these things. I've been around longer. I've enjoyed comics longer, and I'm not a little runt that whines and cries about everything like you are. And if you think that's a virtue, that you cry about everything, You got some growing up to do. And I don't care what your university professor tells you. If you're crying about every little thing, if you're worried about words this bad, even if you're surrounded by a bunch of other ninnies who are idealistic and think the same kind of nonsense you do, you got some work to do. And if you get hateful when people try to call you out and say, when you get confronted by these, these realities, and you become angry, irate, and just start cussing and throwing insults, you've really got to grow up. You seriously, really and truly do. And everyone's allowed to disagree. Everyone can say, but comics should only be about purple-haired, gender bender, identifying as in pronoun or whatever. It's like you're entitled to that opinion, but you can't start bullying other people's work because they're not on board with you. Okay, all right, we got into the fun part. We're going to start doing some abstracts. See, this is where I just get to have fun and like doing stuff like this. Still this residual trans-dimensional energy floating around them before gradually, maybe I could, let me, so there should be little hints coming back. Still see that blood, but here's maybe like some autumn leaves. Some nice little autumn leaves that are yellow, but they identify as orange. Is that good for you? I used to be a green leaf, but now I identify as a red leaf. So I changed my color to red, and now I'm a red leaf. Good for you. Congratulations. You are so brave. And okay, so let's. This is what I was talking about earlier. The smudge finger. The smudge finger is so racist. Why is everybody so racist? I love people talking about how bad they got it in this country. It's hilarious. Seriously, you gotta. These people, they've gotta practice what they preach and go to another country. So that was a sign. The lady saying like, you have more rights in China and Russia. And I think it included North Korea than you do in America. I was just like, oh, dude, you're so right. You should totally go there. Like, yes, I know. Isn't it terrible? You should go there. Go live there. No, seriously, go. Go. Well, I can't right now. I don't have them. No. If your rights, man. We gotta have rights, right? You need rights. Gotta have those rights. You better get on over there. I'm sure Russia's awesome this time of year. We should go there, seriously. Well, I can't right now. Why not? I don't have the money. You got dumber than a rock. That photo was accompanied by the text that said, this generation has failed. Not all kids are like that, but they're out there. And they know how to make Amazon reviews. Excuse me. What time is it? Alright, 2:49. How are we looking, everyone? How's my racist comic looking? I don't even know if I'm going to publish this one on YouTube. Rumble's the way to go. YouTube's all like censoring people they don't agree with. It's just everyone's just turned into, it's like wimp world. Let's say don't be a bully. Don't be a bully. Don't use your gift. Don't attack other people, but but you're allowed to use words. It's like there used to be like 2 or 3. Even those words they used to say we shouldn't be able to use. You're allowed to say whatever the heck you want. They're just words. You're not allowed to physically hurt people. You're not allowed to tell some mentally unstable person to go hurt somebody. But just saying something, a word that somebody doesn't like. I mean, come on, that's way too far, and you know it. Purple shoes. What is my Fitbit telling me? Go out and exercise, folks. It is so good for you. It feels so good when I actually do that. It's not the right color. Where's the color I'm looking for? What is it? There we go. That's more like it. Feels so good to go out and get that exercise. I'm gonna sneeze, everybody, just be warned. Excuse me. I'm allergic to racism. The comics are just so racist, I can't help but start sneezing from time to time. So the truth social media, not like social media is that big a thing, but it's good to connect with the world. Yeah, I like connecting. You know, so much of the stuff I just oh wait, no, let's do the shading first. All right. Well, let's review. Where are we at? Well, let's save actually. So I should put a little shading. You see how this? There's a little texturizing in here, but it still feels a lot like a old 70s or 80s cartoons, flat against the backdrop. Kind of. And maybe I'll leave some of it that way. Let's just see. Let's see what feels right. I'll put a little shading. I need some shading. Then I'll put some white highlights. I always got to put those twinkles or reflected light in the eye. That's cliche. That's nothing new, but it's just it works. And if it's what do they say? If it's not broken, don't fix it. It works for me. All right, we're at 25 opacity. Well, why aren't we working? What did I do? Am I select? Okay, deselect. All right, I had something selected. Let's try again. And you see that kind of blunt end. I don't like. Oh! Here's another trick. All right, so do this, then left click and select inverse. Now, before I was getting frustrated because my line would go out side of the box and I'd have to correct it or redo it, and so it made it very sensitive. Now, if you can find a way to just make your life easier, just do it. Oh, and don't let me forget to put eyelashes on these girls. What I found out is when you're doing color, and I went through this when I was doing my grandmother's children's book, The Woefully Wicked Witch Tells a Fairy Tale. Totally racist, by the way. I was doing the eyelashes absolute last. And why? Because, well, they would block off, when I did the magic wand, they blocked off that highlighting effect. Oops. So I don't like these little, because see, I got that little bit, and there we go. Just try to, it won't stand out too much. Daggone. Don't want to pile it on too much either. Be kind of tasteful with how you apply it. This would be delicate, but yeah, it was going out. But yeah, the eyelashes were causing me problems. So I said, I'm tired of having this little space where the eyelash hits the hair, and when I'm filling in the color, I got this one little section between these two little eyelashes. So I just started doing eyelashes after I laid on all the color. And it made things a little easier. The problem I'd run into is sometimes I'd forget, and I'd go back and say, this identifies as a female character, it needs some eyelashes. Make sure I don't use the wrong gender pronouns. That would be catastrophic. It'd be worse than the Taliban. Yeah, got bad news. A lot of you kids that say you have it so bad, you're really daggone dumb. You don't know what it's like to have it bad. You don't even know. And I'm not saying I've had we've all had our problems, but if you think it's bad because people don't want to act like wimps with you, you're an idiot. At least appreciate what actual hardships are, And if you want to keep on acting like you got it so bad, and you want to say these other countries are so much better, seriously go there. No one at a certain age, nobody should actually be that stupid. Life ain't perfect, that's for sure. You're gonna go through some hard times, don't I? I have. I've been there. I've dealt with some really hard stuff, but I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna sit here and whine about it and like get upset because someone's comic like didn't appreciate my own existence enough. Drop dead. Okay, how are we looking on shading? What about a little on the trees? Let's see how this looks. Yeah, see, look at that. Nice. We saw our friends. Oh yeah, we went to the Water Lantern Festival, and yeah, we saw our friends. Excuse me, allergies. Yeah, we just saw our friends walking down the way, and Emily plays so good with this one girl. It's just such a nice family, and I drew pictures of all of them. They're just so nice. I said I want to show off and try to draw all these people, and then the other guy drew his family anime style. And I said, man, that's really good. But they were being so nice to me, and just saying, oh, you're so good. Just being so kind. It was actually the father of the family had recommended I try webtoons, and my friend Caesar. I don't want to forget Caesar. Caesar recommended I do it, and there's I guess yeah. So I owe a lot to them for recommending me to check it out. Webtoons is really cool. There's a vast selection. It's just, I guess it's discouraging. You see what most kids want and what they're creating with their time, and it really is pathetic. Like I said, I'm not going to attack them or say they can't do it, but I will just say it's crap. It's a dime a dozen. There's nothing unique about it, and it's just a cheap shot, It's just cheap virtue signaling. You're saying, you're just making these brave virtue signaling. You're using the comic format. You're hijacking that to virtue signal, basically. Maybe, because I've looked at some of the comics, and that's all it is. That's why I said the tokenism in, like a show like Stranger Things. It's annoying. And there's little dabs here and there, and I roll my eyes, and I wait, and it usually doesn't get too painful or roll on for too awful long. I can stomach it. It's not totally out of hand. I don't like it, but it's almost like it's almost like this stuff that you got to pass this checklist. And I watch these games. I play these games, watch these movies, and I swear there's some people at the top saying, well, right now, and they don't care. Because it's like I said, even with Disney, with Star Wars, they took the black dude off the poster for China because China didn't want a black person on a movie poster. Not all of China, but marketing-wise, it was strategically not good, and they want those ticket sales. They don't care. They're not as great as they act like they are. They're doing it. They're just doing it to look good. And if tomorrow everyone wakes up and just says, tomorrow all these loser purple-haired kids say, you know what, Nazis actually weren't that bad, and everyone's like, yeah, you're right. Racism's totally cool. We should annihilate all ethnicities that are not our own. It's like if they start saying all this stuff, if that's what becomes hot, God, it's kind of a joke, but it's just like, I swear these corporations, they would shift gears as soon as they saw the sales going in that direction or what they thought was hot, and all these people in marketing. You know what's hot right now? Hitler. They'd change in a heartbeat. They would. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's a fashion show. It's a stupid fashion show. Like, you really got to cause something you believe in. If there's something wrong, point it out. Show me. If there's something really wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm with you. But they're finding these virtue signalers. They're finding something wrong where there's nothing wrong. In comics, in The Simpsons, it's just gotten pathetic. And they're making I love it because then they get on social media. They're like, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, fellas, and I'm just gonna say it. I think racism is wrong, and I'm like, whoa, so brave. You think racism is, and then these other people chime in. Yeah, I'm so glad someone's saying this because I think racism is wrong. Also, I'm like, oh my god, it's just nauseating. I knew you should be nice to everybody, no matter what they look like. Since I was a little kid, that's one of the first things my dad taught me as I was kind of growing older. And I had friends. I never thought, and my buds, I was usually pretty interested in people from different places. I met this kid from Mexico, And my buddy Rashad, he talked a little different than me, but we were buds, you know. And yeah, just making up and just inventing problems so you can say you're battling it. You know, I've seen it happens so much, and then they get all this praise. It's like, I don't deserve all this. I'm just one man, but we must stop racism. I'm like, all you did, you just told a drunk lady who said something kind of, you know, kind of ghetto to, is kind of lame. You know, you just told her to get the F out of your stupid car, and now you put the video up online so you can just show off like how against like F racism. I'm like, yeah. Yep, you really showed those races. I do remember. That's why I said I remember seeing this picture. You never hear. I don't even know. I don't remember his name. I've talked about him before, but the guy who went to the KKK rallies, or Ben Carson, who, like, you know, separated conjoined twins at the head or successfully. Like, you know, it's like my daughter hears more about LeBron James at school than she does about someone who did something like that. You know, some loser LeBron James acting like he's got it so hard while he's taking these $1 million paychecks. You got him like on all these toys, little action figures. I saw him like a Pez dispenser at Jungle Gyms the other day. Give me a break. Yo, racism. I just can't take all this racism. Yeah, man, you got it rough, dude. I went to college and I just didn't want to talk to the white people because they was like, you know, racist and stuff. Well, I figured they was racist because I just believe all white people is racist, so I just didn't talk to them. Oh man, yeah, they're the racists. Yeah, they're really hateful. Look at you, you won't even talk to people because you're just prejudiced against them, basically, right? I mean, you're making a judgment call based on the color of their skin. Yeah. You go. And oh yeah, the one guy who actually went to the KKK rallies or something and debated with them and told them, you know, while their mindset was a little in the wrong place. I say, I don't know that dude's name. Obviously, no one talks about him. He was actually doing something real. He was making peace and bonds and all this stuff, you know. Dude, go over and show love and have a conversation, and people are, you know those KKK members were like, you know, that N-word ain't half bad, you know. They probably, I mean, seriously. So, you know, unpopular, but everyone wants to say racism all over the place so they can sit there and look so good about when they say, I'm against racism. Like, I have never met one person who's been, like, just so out of his mind that, like, they actually, you know, I've heard some people say some stuff when they're confused and hateful and angry. You know, from blacks and whites and whatever, you know, who are had a bad experience and they're just angry and they say some, you know, pretty hateful stuff. But I don't think, you know, I've never heard someone genuinely say, you know, no person of this skin color can be good. You know, all of them are like, man, I had some bad experience. I had a lot of bad experiences. But, you know, I said, man, you know, as long as, you know, but I still know, yeah, I've met so many good people, you know. Yeah, I've never met anyone who would just say, you know, I'm sure they're out there, you know, someone just so lit up by hate, you know, but it's like they say, they're possessed by hate, though, you know, they're going to hate something somehow. That's just, those, yeah, you know what, there are those insane people out there. But this word racism is thrown around way too easy. I mean, you're going to have rednecks that are going to drive by in their pickup truck and shout the N-word, and, you know, they're just losers anyway. And you're going to have black people that are just, like, hating on the white man just for existing, basically. I've been at the mercy of that plenty. That's too bad for them, you know. But they're possessed by such hatred. I'll stay the heck away from them. I'll talk to my friends, white, black, or whatever, who are not all jacked up and wasting their lives away on this kind of hatred. How are we looking? Oh, it's 3:05. I gotta go. I should boogie in a bit. Okay. We might actually be done with this. Let me put a couple more flourishes on here. Yeah, so as you can see, I did texturize the people. I didn't leave that flat cartoon look. Maybe I'll do that in the following page. I honestly, this is all. It's been a while since I penciled all this. Let's put a little more shade there. And I don't fully remember. I have a vague recollection. I did ink it more recently, so I guess there's that. It's just the story is not very fresh in my head, so I'm kind of rediscovering it a little myself. I can't wait to release it for y'all, and I cannot wait to start work on my new laptop with the Huon tablet and Clip Studio Paint, or whatever it's called. It is very exciting. I mean, it's not going to be a tremendous difference, but it will be a difference. I should have highlighted it. Let's just, that's good enough. How we looking, guys? A little shading here. Obscure this a little bit. I know I got some problems. You know what? Should I fix those problems? Why not? We're all here, right? Let's just make it. Let's just... No? Select the color, Jack. Ass. Yeah, don't look perfect. Who cares? Oh, look at this. See, there's a cool effect. Check that out. Just on a whim. See, discovered just cool little tricks like this. You know, maybe I could put some... As I get more ambitious, give a little more depth, you know, this extra stuff. A lot of it will... Ironically, I don't plan out where my word balloons are going to be, and then it's kind of painful for me when I got to cover up a lot of this extra detail with word balloons, because they need more space to say something, but, you know, whatever. Just a little bit. Size, these gnarly trees. Yeah, look at that. Ain't that nice? Yep. You know it! Wait a minute. Is that their... Alright, if that's a neighbor's yard, then it shouldn't be just a forest. From this angle... Yeah. Yeah, from that angle... No. Alright, I got this a little off. How far off am I? No, that's good enough. No, that is past the backyard. It is. Yeah, it's past the backyard, so maybe there's a little strip of forest there. I don't know. There is now. A lot of cool stuff happening out there. I'm sure I'll talk about more. What am I looking forward to? Dread Out 2, the Thai horror game, is coming out for PS to download on PS4. Could have gotten it on Steam. I don't like playing games on my laptop. Got part 1 out, yet to beat it. I couldn't get a controller to work for it. So you need a USB controller. I got a USB controller years ago, and it wasn't programmed the right way. It didn't do the commands for the controls. Didn't control it right. It's like the left joystick movement stick worked, and the right one was like just brought up these different commands. It was a nightmare. And then lo and behold, I tried the Xbox 360 controller, which has a USB input. That never occurred to me. I never thought about that. And it works like a charm. So now I can play this game that's been sitting on my laptop. I was always real interested. I love Eastern culture and I love horror, so playing these Eastern horror games, like Siren is one of my favorite, you know, and it's also by the creator of Silent Hill, it just makes sense. Love Siren games. They're based on these actual places in the East, you know, which I'd love to visit. And until that happens, it's kind of cool. I can play these games and get that feel, you know. But yeah, so I can, but as you know, I'm doing a lot of artwork and family man stuff, and we're on summer break, so Lord knows when I'll sit down and play games. I got a lot of games waiting for me I'd like to break into. Also, get that exercise too. It's such a good feeling to get exercise. Oh yeah, yep. Let's put on, because it's dark in here. Let's wrap this up in a second, folks. It's been real. Thanks for sharing this time with me. I did want to share this with you. Next, I think this is it. I don't think you're going to see it. If anyone out there actually wants to see more coloring, I think this is it. But I think we've covered a lot of the cool techniques. You know, I think we've we've done a lot of cool stuff here, and I hope if you've been watching this, you've gotten some ideas, and if you're into art, that it can help you, give you some, you know, so whatever. But I really appreciate y'all tuning in and watching. You know, a lot of stuff really bugs me about human stupidity when it starts infringing on the rights of others, but I am very happy for you all. There it is. File, save. I think I caught everything. Did I get all the eyelashes? No. Daggone it, Lee. Okay, let's do some eyelashes and then I'm going to say goodbye to y'all. And this is eyelash, 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 no eyelash, 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 eyelash. Let's fix that. This tapered end on the ink, somehow like Adobe recognizes when I'm using amazing. This is, a software as old as dirt, and this Adobe's amazing. It registers that I'm using a digital tablet, so the sensitivity of the pen is going to be an issue. So it gives, at some point, it will just change over to this tapered end instead of the blunt end. So interesting. You know, this technology that's just sitting there but can't even be accessed, because I mean I had this years before I would ever mess with digital drawing. That's it, folks. Let's do one more thing. Let's just look at, let's look at it. That's not the one I'm using. Update. Update. Open. Why does this pen not behave when I'm trying to open this? I gotta get going soon. Just open this. Well, while I'm sitting here waiting for my slow crap computer. Sorry, computer, I still love you. How long is this? Oh, almost 2 hours. Unbelievable. That's way too long. Sorry, folks. That's life. Looks good to me. It's a keeper. So that's page 11. I got 10 more pages to color, and then, you know, some basic layout, and of course the lettering, which is usually a few hours one evening. It's getting pretty close. I think this is just going to be released on Kindle. Maybe paperback, we'll see, because it is a lot of work. It kind of seems like it deserves a print. No one will buy it, but at least have it out there. But check it out on, you know, if you want to be a cheapo, check it out on, check it out on, what's it called? Webtoons.
Yeah, if you can sift through all that purple-haired genderbender stuff, you know. Oops, sorry, was I being insensitive? Like I said, don't cry to me. Go cry to your mom. Because you're a baby. You're a little mama's boy. And that purple hair won't get you a job. Neither will all these stupid facial piercings. Yeah. If you want to be a cheapo, check it out on Webtoons. But, you know, at least give me a nice review. Or get it on Kindle or paperback if it's available. It'll probably cost you at least $7 for a color, even only 22 pages. That's the best I can do. I'm not getting the actual comic format printed. It's not worth the effort. Yeah, in this digital age. Anyway, next time you see me, like I said, I'm going to be breaking in the new. Oh, that's iPad. This laptop with Clip Studio Art. Anyway, I always say, I love you all. God bless you. Take care of yourselves. Do well, and don't call everything you disagree with racist, or else you're. Take care. Bye.